Today, we are going to look into how to get free stuff. Welcome to the first episode of Discount Filmmaking, where today we will be looking into the fastest, smartest, and most importantly, cheapest ways for you to make a great short film. I'm your host, Joe Burke. There are a ton of people that will tell you that you have to spend boatloads of money in order to start making films. However, I'm here to tell you the best places that you can find video assets, software, sound effects, and background music that you can use for free and 100% legally. If you have any particular interest in any one of these topics, the time codes are on screen as well as in the description. I'll also be putting links to everything that I mentioned here in the notes below as well. Now let's stop padding all this runtime because this is going to take a minute. Let's go. Now, you'll notice that most of the biggest films in the industry are using these massive, expensive camera rigs that obviously aren't very accessible to people at our level. However, this right here will serve your purposes just fine. I'm even shooting this video on it now. Okay, so I may be lying to you a little bit. So I'm not necessarily shooting this video on my phone because there is actually a better option that if you have available to you, I'd recommend trying. If you can find any camera in your house, like a camcorder or a GoPro, which is actually what I'm using, that can match the specs of your camera, I'd recommend trying that, because cameras on the phone can be a little bit hard to work with visual effects, especially when it comes down to trying something like motion tracking. This isn't a make or break kind of thing, and both will work just fine for somebody who's trying to make their first few short films. However, I would recommend trying to find a better option than your own phone if you're looking to get extremely serious. Great! Now you have your footage shot and you're ready to get on to post-production. Now, this is where things used to be really difficult because in general, free softwares either leave watermarks, have free trials, and overall are not really easy to work with. They're oftentimes very limited. So, unfortunately, this is a lot of times where people's adventures into the great, endless beyond the filmmaking kind of fizzle out and die. Now, I can tell you with certainty that there is a better alternative to that, and that alternative is called Hitfilm Express. Now, you may have heard about this little piece of software. However, in my opinion, it is criminally underrated, and it's possibly the greatest thing to happen to the low-budget community in years, and yet almost nobody knows about it. Hitfilm is a hybrid editor, which means it does two things. One, it makes composite shots, kind of like After Effects, then it has a timeline where you can edit kind of like Premiere. Boom, you already have two softwares in one and you still haven't paid a dime. It doesn't have any kind of trials, payment, watermark, it has an infinite editing timeline, it has infinite tracks for audio and video, it has a wildly huge library of effects that intermediate, beginner, or even pro filmmakers can use to their advantage. All it is just these people want a software that you can use in your films for totally free. Okay, so give me a break here. This thing has enough features that I need to list them off and I have to read off something else. Hold on a sec. So, we're talking advanced keyframing, rotoscoping, color grading, visual effects, keying, infinite tracks for audio and video, 3D space. Although to be fair, it doesn't necessarily have model compatibility, but we'll get to that. It's a simple matter of just going to the website, making an account, and if you really want to be like that, you can make a disposable account, but I have a real account with these people, and they have just a very unintrusive newsletter they'll send out every month or so, making you aware of deals with Pro, which they do have a lot of, so even then, it's still to your benefit to just let them send you your emails. And obviously I'm not sponsored by these people because, But maybe someday. I have a whole list of links of people talking about this software and shorts that they have done with this software that are like Hollywood levels of good. And you wanna know something else? This entire video from now until the end will be edited inside of this software. So, boom! But Joe, what if there aren't enough effects in this software for me to make the video that I want to make? Well, skeptical viewer, here you go. These people also have add-on packs that range from like $20 to $50 that have specific effects packs that you can use if you need them specifically for any project, so you can make this software your own. You don't even have to buy the entire thing, but even then, I would look into doing that because it is so good, and it's my editor of choice. Every video you see on this channel, and probably will for a very long time, has been edited in Hitfilm Pro, so seriously, look into it. The developers of this software actually have a YouTube channel where they'll put weekly tutorials on how to use their both Pro and Express products, and I would highly recommend looking at that too for both beginner and Pro tutorials. Awesome! Now you have your shots all ready and your software booted up. Now it's time to get to the real stuff, editing. I'm going to cover some of my favorite sites that I use for both stock footage and VFX assets like explosions, blood sprays, bullet holes, and much more. The first site on my list is called Pixabay.com. Pixabay is great for if you need one of those establishing shots or just something nice to maybe beef up your production a little bit. Though their selection isn't necessarily extremely varied, if you can find something that they have a lot of, some of their shots are beautiful. They have great sunrises, ocean shots, and it's a pretty great selection nonetheless. What's more, that site requires all of their users to put all of their products on there as a Creative Commons 0 license, which means you don't have to put credit or attribution or anything like that, which takes a lot of hassle out of your process. The next website I'm going to tell you about is premiumbeat.com. The people who run the site have a blog, where they presumably meant to promote the material on the actual website. This blog has this incredible library of free visual effects assets and audio assets, as well as presets for various softwares. One of my all-time favorite packs of theirs is their Explosion pack, which includes 25 high-quality and pretty freaking awesome sound effects of explosions, and 15 pre-keyed drag-and-drop explosion effects that you can just put into your footage and boom, you're ready to go. Here's a quick montage of all the times I've used this thing, because let me tell you, it is a lot. I use that pack a lot. So yeah, tell your friends, have them all download it, you download it, use it up the wazoo because it is fantastic. Another frequent flyer in all of my videos is a supply of stock footage that the Hitfilm team themselves released about 2 years back at Christmas time. I have a link to the video that they released it in the description. Basically, it's just some sparks, some smoke, some fire blasts, all just super useful stuff that you can just use in your videos equally for free. They just released it as a gift to their community because guess what? If you haven't gotten it already, these people love short filmmakers. Finally, if you want another enormous library of fantastic visual effects assets, look no further than actionvfx.com. These guys are ridiculous because a lot of their stuff has been used in big, full-scale productions, and they have a giant, like, 2-scroll list of just free visual effects assets. Some of my favorite are their bullet hole textures, blood sprays, spell hits, which is fantastic, water splash sound effects, they're all great. And, you know, my personal favorites, spell hits being used as lasers! Worth it. In case you were wondering, yes, I did do that in Hitfilm Express because it's great. So that's the list of my favorite sites that I can go for video assets. But feel free to look for more yourself and tell me about them. I'd love to hear it. Remember earlier when I said that Premium Beat was going to come back later in this list? Well, here we are. We're back because they have a ton of audio assets, and this is where that site really starts to shine. Another pack that I use all the time is the Sci-Fi UI effects pack, which has 29 high-quality science fiction style UI or user interface effects that have like beeps, swipes, on, off sound effects. I use them all the time. Another fantastic one is their trailer building sound effect. I use this one all the time when I need to have a little bit more oomph behind the soundtrack, or even nothing at all. If you listen to Faceless, I use this one all the time in that video to scare people and get the tension to build. Finally, though I've never used them myself, in researching for this video I found a pack of Foley footstep sound effects that are just all these ambient footsteps that you can put in your scene just to immerse your audience a little bit more. They have boots in snow, bare feet on wood, and all kinds of other sound effects you can put to help increase your scene's value a little bit. But what happens if you need that one sound that nobody's going to be able to name or have in any kind of pack, and it's just that one thing that's going to seal your scene together? Does a place exist where there's an infinite library of free sound effects that cost nothing to use and have a ton of Creative Commons 0 sound effects, high quality WAV files, MP3s? Does such a place even exist? Of course it does! I'm talking to you about it, and it's called freesound.com, and oh my god, I love this website! Freesound.com is officially the first place I turn to find sound effects for any of the videos that I've done, and you can hear something that I found on their website in almost every single project that I've worked on. The whole premise of this platform is for up-and-coming sound designers to just put their sounds up on there for free. You can have one of 3 filters on, so you can either have attribution or no attribution if you're trying to not have that much hassle behind your work. The sounds tend to be super high quality, and they have just pages and pages under any search that you look up, and it's just insane. And I found so much that I can use in all of my projects. Something else to consider is that if you want to look even further into a different sound, try typing in something other than what you're specifically looking for. You may find something in there that's just so much better than what you ever anticipated. One tiny problem I have with this website is that it supports .aiff files, which Hitfilm itself isn't necessarily compatible with, but it's a super easy fix. All you need to do is go on to cloudconvert.com, which is my free converter of choice, and just convert it into something that you want to use, like a WAV or an MP3. All you need to do to start downloading from them is to just make an account by putting in your email and a username, and you're good to go. Even putting in your email in there doesn't actually have all that much impact, and to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever actually received any emails from freesound.com anyway. So if you need a sound of any kind, I seriously recommend you try going there first, because I very rarely get let down by that website. The final sound asset pack that I'm going to mention is the Rocket Stock Horror Sound Effects pack, which that thing is really good. I found it in the making of Faceless, and let me tell you, some of the sounds in there are so unnerving and disturbing and weird. They're just so gnarly, and I used a lot of them throughout the video. So if you want to go and check that one out, I highly recommend it because it is well enough worth it to download. Alright, so you have your sound, your video, everything's in order, all graded up and ready to be sent off. Except for one thing, you don't have background music yet. Lucky for you lovely people, I have found places that you can get fantastic background music as well, so let's get into that one. Anyway, one of the two composers that I'm going to show you today is named Kevin MacLeod, and he's done some fantastic work on his website Incompetech.com, where he produces music that I've used in several of my productions, including this one. That track's called Volatile Reaction, by the way, and it's my favorite one of his works. It is so good! The second composer I'm going to introduce you to is Ross Bugden, who puts some fantastic music out all the time on his YouTube channel. All of his music has this varied style that allows you to incorporate it into a lot of different projects. Some of his stuff is some of the creepiest music you'll ever hear to some of the most intense action music you've ever heard. And it's all royalty free. Now, the thing is with composers is that they put a lot more work into their sounds than somebody who is making a small sound effect, which means a lot of times they do want attribution in their videos, and these two guys are no exception. With MacLeod, all you need to do is just go into his website, and every single one of his songs has his preferred attribution underneath. All Bugden asks is that you just put the link to his YouTube channel in the description of the video you used your music in. You can see that I did that with the Stranger Things video, because if you watch this scene, that fantastic piece of music was by that guy, so, you know, why not give him some credit, because that was great. Well, there you have it. That is my ultimate comprehensive list on everything you need to make your next free short film. If you liked what you saw in this video, feel free to subscribe, share, and all that other jazz, as well as check out all the links in the notes below of all the things that I talked about today. I've been Joe Burke, and thank you for watching.